NL Central. So hopefully Genovesen003 is still in the chat because I know he's a Cubs fan. And I have good news for him because they are first up here. They went 92-70 last season, and they have the highest 2026 record projection in the NL Central at 83-79. For offseason moves, they lost Kyle Tucker to the Dodgers. No one else was getting him with the amount the Dodgers paid him. They signed Alex Bregman to kind of recoup for that, and then they also traded for Edward Cabrera to shore up the rotation. Speaking of the rotation, I'm not a very big fan. It's headlined by Matthew Boyd and Shoto Imanaga, who are fine. And then from there, there's like some okay pieces. You know, we'll see how Justin Steele looks coming back from UCL. He's kind of one of my swing players. He should be back in about a month. Cade Horton had a pretty good rookie season last year, but some of his peripherals weren't great. It seemed like he overperformed, so we'll see if he regresses a little bit or if he can keep it up. I don't think it's like a horrible rotation, but like going through the teams and getting this rotation and being like, oh, well, Matthew Boyd is starting opening day, like that just doesn't inspire crazy confidence. And then lineup-wise, I think it's a really, really deep lineup. Like I think that's the best part about this lineup is how deep it is. Headlined by newly extended PCA. Hopefully he's a bit more of the first-half player he was last year than the second-half player in terms of with his bat. Obviously, they brought in Bregman. Braves legend Dansby Swanson is still around. Nico Horner just got an extension like 30 minutes ago, so he's also newly extended. Seiya Suzuki and Michael Busch both had really, really good 2025 seasons with the bat. So hopefully they kind of keep that rolling into this season. So I think it's a pretty good lineup. I definitely feel better about the lineup than I do the rotation. But y'all's thoughts on this team? Do they have any prospects?
Nope, no prospects.
Yeah, rare
like,
to call up.
I did not write down any prospects because it just wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like they just kind of had a wave get called up, so that does kind of feel like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like even like Moises Ballesteros, I think is a younger guy. So.
How did they get Bregman? I thought he was under contract still with the Red Sox. Or is he a free agent?
I think he was a free agent.
Okay.
Maybe he opted out or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
But yeah. Anything you want to add, Genovesen, in the chat?
He said
Anything
Horton
we
will
should
be
know?
good, hopefully. Runner-up for Rookie of the Year.
Got beat out by, shout out Drake Baldwin.
Play Matt Shaw, he says, which he's listed on this lineup. Let's see. Did he play today?
He said, I'm a seer, so he must
have played today and played well.
Well, because Seiya didn't play because he's hurt.
Yeah. Also, he probably didn't play well given how badly they got beat.
But see, this is what I was talking about, Creed. It's like just because Matt Shaw kind of lost his spot, he's a utility guy. So he's just going to end up getting a lot of starts this season just because different guys are going to miss time with different random injuries.
Matt Shaw did play for today. He went over 3 and got pinch hit for.
Tough.
So
not a great start to the season.
Nope, not at all. Which it's funny that we're doing our preview on day one. It was not intentional. I would wish we could have gotten it out before. But
it's funny to make meme like overreactions.
Yeah,
opening day.
Yeah, like who was it that started the day 2 for? No. It was Adley Rutschman was 2 for 4.
Oh yeah, that as well.
Batting .500. So bounce back years confirmed because he's batting .500 and we can see the future. He played outfield. Where would he rather he play?
Well, I think he played third base a lot last season, and they brought in Bregman.
He'd rather.
But Bregman's getting older, so I bet Bregman will get some time off. Bregman also probably will pull a hammy or something at some point this season.
Everybody does. We've all been there.
Maybe his wife is pregnant. He'll get some paternity leave. Who knows?
Maybe. Anything else on the Cubs?
I'm good.
Cool. We can move on.
I do think it's a good team, though.
Who do you have as the next best team?
The Pirates.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
The Pirates, who went 71-91 last season, are projected to go 82-80 this season. Why? Well, I'm not really sure, but we can walk through their offseason moves. They signed a couple power bats in Marcell Ozuna and Ryan O'Hearn, and they also traded for Brandon Lau and Jake Mangum, who talking about...
it's Lau, not Low?
I think it is probably low. It's definitely low.
Okay.
Speaking of opening day overreactions, Brandon Lowe started the game with 2 home runs.
Really?
So, you basically just trade for one of the best hitters in baseball.
That's crazy. but you have one of the worst fielders in baseball playing center field.
Yeah. Also
So,
talking about overreactions, Paul Skenes has a
62.5.
2.5
Something
ERA
like that.
this
Yeah.
season. And
But
didn't make it out
Lowe's
the
on
first
pace
inning.
for 324 home runs. So
Yeah,
That is
there's,
big.
There's a give and take here.
Yeah. There always is. There always is.
Those were their biggest offseason moves. Paul Skenes headlines the rotation.
I
think
mean,
Mitch-
with a 62.5 ERA, you just got to send him down to the minors and figure that out.
yeah,
you just-
probably.
you don't have to pitch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if Brandon Lowe's going to hit 324 home runs, you should be good.
True. You maybe don't. Yeah, we just got to get more people on base for Brandon Lowe.
Yeah. In all seriousness, they're going to have Paul Skenes, and he's going to be fantastic. They just need the rest of the pitching staff behind that to pitch well.
Yeah, Mitch Keller I think is a solid number 2. Bubba Chandler and Braxton Ashcraft I believe are both younger guys. I definitely know Bubba Chandler's a younger guy.
Yeah,
Bubba Chandler is
Clemson
like
legend.
I was about to say he's got to be from the South.
He
so,
is.
Yeah,
He signed to be a quarterback, but then decided he wanted to go to the MLB draft because he's
Oh,
a
gotcha.
pitcher too.
So did he play at Clemson, or he just go to high school?
He just went straight out of high school to MLB, but Dabo signed him. He was part of a recruiting class.
that's
That's
cool.
sick.
I'm a little worried about the back end of that rotation. Now it is nice you get to trot Paul Skenes out there every 5th day.
Mhm.
Hopefully it will go better than it did today. You also, maybe give him some better defensive help.
Oh, yeah.
But the lineup is just like, I'm not the biggest fan. You have Brian Reynolds and O'Neal Cruz in that lineup. Marcell Ozuna, like how much does he give you at his age? Same with Ryan O'Hearn. I mean, if Brandon Lowe's going to hit like that, I mean, he's a big addition regardless, right? He's not going to, hit 2 home runs every game, duh.
Yeah.
But, like, that is maybe a big boost. But, like, the bottom of this lineup, Henry Davis is a younger catcher who hit well last season. Nick Gonzalez, I think, was drafted, like, 5th overall or something.
Skenes has a 67.5 ERA, excuse me, not 62. It's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse. I don't think the lineup is. I don't know. I just see a lot of mid, and that seems mean to say. And I guess mid is 82 and 80. Like
Yeah.
that's pretty mid.
It's almost the definition of mid.
And yeah, I don't know. And it does mention, or we should mention. I'm sure you have it about Connor Griffin.
I do. Number 1
He's my swing
prospect
player,
in
so.
baseball. Shortstop, Mississippi made, by the way. Went to Jackson Prep.
Ridgeland, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Then he probably went to Jackson Prep.
He went to Jackson Prep. I don't
Well,
know.
you can go to Jackson Prep, live wherever.
Yeah, true. Private school, that's how that works. But anyway, they also have the number 11 prospect, Bubba Chandler, who you already listed.
Yeah.
Right-handed pitcher. And then with Seth Hernandez, is he also listed as a starter currently? He's not. So he's the number 29 prospect, another pitcher, which they're another lineup. All righties, all right-handers.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not as rare as I thought, but it still is just like feels odd to not have a single left-hander in a sport where it's like that's kind of you want to have guys who pitch both ways, or not both ways, but you want to
Sure.
have different right and left. Anyway, the thing I've seen about Connor Griffin is you talked about how if you wait till after, I think you said April to activate
Yeah, I
him,
believe this.
you can buy an
I think
extra.
it's 6 weeks.
Yeah, you get an extra year on their contract. That's
Mhm.
what I've heard people
I-
theorizing is what the Pirates are going to do.
Yeah, probably. He also didn't hit great this spring. So, like, also no reason he didn't, like, force their hand, if that makes sense. Then you get the extra year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just lower on some of the younger guys than the projection is. But I was a little surprised to see them projected to be an above 500 ball club.
Yeah, I'm also just very low on O'Neal Cruz after watching him play today and watching him last season. He was not a good fielder at
Sure.
all last year. And I feel like as someone who I watch a lot of Padres baseball games, as many as I can, but I don't watch a whole lot of other teams. I know I'm on Twitter a lot, so I see a lot of highlights and lowlights. But I feel like he wasn't that bad as shortstop, and maybe I'm just very, very mistaken there.
I don't
and-
think he was very good at shortstop.
Okay.
I think he was good. He had a big arm and was good at making impressive plays.
Yeah, because I feel like he was one of the guys that like threw 105 miles an hour,
Mhm.
like a put out.
But in terms of range and just, like,
Okay.
making the routine plays, not always there.
Yeah, so I don't get why he's in center field. It feels like there's got to be some other solution. Teach him how to stand still and put him at first base. Like,
I don't love any of their options in center field is the
Yeah.
problem. And he is fast, so he can cover the ground if he can make the right read off the bat.
that
which
is
did not
his
do
current
today.
issue.
Third
Oh.
in this division is the Brewers, who
Yep.
went 97-65 last season, and their projection for this season is tied with the Pirates at 82-80. So they're right there together. They traded away Freddie Peralta in the offseason, re-signed longtime starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, and they also traded away Isaac Collins and Caleb Durbin. The rotation is headlined by longtime starter Brandon Woodruff, though I guess not even because Jacob Mizorowski started their game today. He was a rookie last season and started off the season great. Even despite limited innings, he was so good he made the All-Star game. And then just struggled with command, was really bad down the stretch. I think he ended up with a 4+ ERA. So that's my swing guy. Is like if he can return to like elite status, that'll be huge for their rotation. And they're just another team that like no matter who's in their rotation, they just seem to piece it together, and like make stuff happen. Like I'm sure Chad Patrick will have a 3.2 ERA and pitch 200 innings and be like, all right, bro, like how does that happen? And then in terms of the lineup, it's William Contreras. I miss him on the Braves.
Is he related to Wilson Contreras?
He is. They're
That's what I
brothers.
thought. That's what I figured.
Jackson Churio is a big piece of this lineup, but he did just break his hand, so he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks, which is tough. Andrew Vaughn had a career resurgence after being horrible with the White Sox the second half of last year. We're going to see if that's real. Bryce Terang is going to lead off, it seems. Christian Yelich is still there, DHing now apparently. He's not MVP form, but he's still a quality hitter. Thoughts on this team?
Excuse me. Yeah, for the Brewers, let's see. They have a couple top prospects. The number 3 prospect on a shortstop, a middle infielder, Jesus Made, is how I think you would say that name.
Jesus made.
It is definitely not Jesus
It
Made.
could be.
It is not Jesus Made. And then number 26, another infielder, Luis Pena. Pena. You say it's like a
Yeah,
A.
it's
Pena. So those are 2 guys to keep your eye on and guys they could see playing time. But yeah, Jake Bauer is not to be confused with Mississippi State legend Jack Bauer.
Sure.
Sorry, I literally did a double take. Like, why did he have the same name? But he does not. I don't have a whole lot to say on this team. Like I've already said it. Actually, excuse me. No, I'm looking at the wrong. Yes, I've don't have a whole lot to say. They lost Freddie Peralta, who I believe was a good pitcher.
Great.
Ace.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ace. So, they have to have made up for him in the aggregate, right? You have to be,
We're going to find out if they did or not.
yeah, you have to have the guys to replace that.
Sure.
But I just don't feel as good about this team as I do about the Cubs, and I don't like the upside of this team as much as I do like the Pirates. So,
Yeah.
that's where a hint as to where I will be going when I pick
Sure,
this division.
In the 4th spot, it's the Reds, who went 83-79 last year, and their 2026 projection is 78-84. A couple offseason moves I want to highlight. They signed Emilio Pagan to help in the bullpen, and then Eugenio Suarez is back in a Reds jersey, where he, I believe, began his journey as an MLB player. The rotation has a lot of fun arms. Nick Lodolo, Chase Burns. If you're a college baseball guy, you'll definitely recognize that name. Rhett
Yeah.
Lauder is another name that you probably
Where did
recognize
Chase
if
Burns
you're
play?
Tennessee.
Is he the guy that threw 105?
No.
Okay.
He's the guy that was like a psycho, though.
Okay.
Rhett Lauder is another name you should recognize if you're a big college baseball guy. Played at Wake Forest. Brady Singer is there. Played at Florida. Just rattling off all the hits. And then there's also Hunter Green, but Hunter Green has bone spurs in his right elbow, had to get surgery, so he will miss at least half the season
It's always the throwing elbow.
on the 60-day IL. I wonder why.
Why
he
couldn't
had
the
bone
human
spurs.
body
Yeah.
is not designed to do what.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, why couldn't he get the bone spurs on the left elbow and then just kind of play through it?
Yeah, maybe you should start throwing left-handed now.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Give the right arm a break. I think the rotation will be okay. They do play in a very hitter-friendly ballpark, which is tough for that group. And then for the lineup, Ellie De La Cruz is a star of it. Obviously, you brought back Suarez. Sal Stewart had a good debut season. There's a couple of other solid hitters, but I don't think it's anything special.
Yeah. You also brought in J.J. Bleday, and that's a familiar name. Is that a college name?
Yeah, he's my swing player.
Okay.
because I think he was a top 5 draft pick. Got drafted by the Marlins, never really panned out. They gave him a 1-year, $1.4 million deal. Doesn't look like he's going to start. But yeah, just maybe he can turn it around. I think at this point it's probably a lost cause. But
He played for drafted by the Padres.
was he? Oh, he's drafted by
Oh,
the
excuse me. That was out of high school. Apologies. I forgot that it was going to list. Played at Vanderbilt, yep, and then
Yeah.
drafted 4th overall. And so I forgot that Pro Baseball Reference was going to list both of his draft of
Yeah,
picks.
yeah.
But, yeah, drafted 4th overall out of Vanderbilt by the Marlins. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what notes I had on them. I turned my iPad off because I'm stupid.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Big additions, like I said, Jason Bidet, Dane Myers, I also have listed as an addition they made in the offseason. So a couple of outfielders. Losses, Zach Little, a pitcher. One
Yeah.
of their top prospects is Sal Stewart, who you already spoke about. He's the number 22 ranked prospect, so he will ideally see playing time. He's already listed on the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he played some last year. So
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much kind of locked in that spot.
Yep.
Cool. The last team in the NL Central is the Cardinals, who went 78-84 last season, and their 2026 projection is 75-87. I expect them to finish below that mark because all signs point to them entering a rebuild or at least some sort of a reset.
Yeah.
For example, they signed Dusty May and Ryan Stanek. Dusty May will slot into the rotation. Ryan Stanek, I believe, will factor into the bullpen. But they traded away Wilson Contreras, Sonny Gray, Brendan Donovan. They also traded away Nolan Arenado to the Diamondbacks. Like a lot of their pieces, kind of more key pieces. Now you could argue, well, the key pieces obviously weren't getting the job done. So, maybe they aren't going to take that big of a drop off losing them. But I think, even if they weren't getting the pieces done, those pieces weren't getting the job done, and it is time to move on. It's going to take them a while to replace them with, the pieces that could potentially actually lead the Cardinals back to the playoffs and back to NLCSs and stuff like that. The rotation, Matthew Liberatore was the opening day starter. His career ERA is 4.63.
Who is this? Sorry.
Matthew Liberatore. Opening day starter. His career ERA, like I said, is 4.63. So that's just not what you want out of your opening day starter.
No.
Dustin May, kind of fall from grace with some injuries. Michael McGreevy will get some starts. I don't think this is a good rotation at all. And then lineup-wise, Alec Burleson's really good. They're calling up top prospect J.J. Weatherholt. He made the team, and he should get some good playing time. Lars Nootbaar is an all-time name out in the outfield. Ivan Herrera is pretty good. But I just think it's a pretty suspect lineup, just like the rotation. And I think they're fine with that.
Yeah. A couple notes that I have. You already talked about how the rebuild has started. Another name, I don't think you mentioned Herangelo Sencha. They bring him in.
Yeah.
We talked about him earlier when we talked about the Mariners and how they moved him. He was a switch pitcher, but now Jack said that he's going to one hand. I don't know which hand. Righty. Okay, thank you. But he's a young guy, which it kind of fits into the rebuild timeline better than some of the guys that they shipped off. And then they've also got some really good prospects still in the minors. J.J. Weatherholt is a number 5 prospect. He is a shortstop. And then they've got Liam Doyle, who that is a name, a very big college name, Tennessee pitcher. Before that, he was an Ole Miss pitcher. And I think, was he the guy that Isaac homered off of in the SEC tournament? Okay. I'm not positive. I think that State fans, might have led themselves to just kind of think that he was, but I'm not positive. Oh, no, I think he was. Anyway, so that's a Mississippi State legend right there. But Liam Doyle is the number 34 ranked prospect, left-handed pitcher, and then Rainiel Rodriguez, the number 37 prospect, is a catcher. So they made some as far as rebuilds go, if it kind of seems like they dove right in.
As you should.
Which I love that from them to kind of be like, well, we're not just gonna let this play out. We're gonna move our stars while we can still get assets for them. So in 2 or 3 years, this team could be good. Like if these pieces work out, the pieces they brought in work out, this could be a good team. So, that's all I have to say there. Do you want to go ahead and pick it?
Yeah, I got the Cubs winning this division. Shout out Creed.
Yeah, I will also be picking the Cubs. Only Major League game I've ever been to, Cubs game.
Against.
I can't tell you. I don't know who it was. This was in like 2014,
Gotcha.
2015. So
Was it in Chicago?
yes, it was. It was. I could probably go back and find a photo of it. But I went. Me and my family went. Took a trip up there. So
Who you got, JP?
Cubs for me, Cubs for Jack, and for JP.
I'm gonna pick the Pirates for the second year in a row.
There it is. I was wondering if that was coming. He's gonna ride or die again. You're not worried about Paul Skenes' 67?
Yeah, can you walk us through the thought process there?
Damn, I just had the quote. Basically, he said today that there's some good things to look at. What happened today? Like, they're not a lot of hard contact. The on base percentage for like balls in play is something that's going to go down throughout the season. That's kind of his direct quote of him trying not to
Good
say,
mindset. Good mindset.
my boys are selling my bread.
Well, he did give up a ground ball back to him, so maybe filled your position better as well. I didn't see it. It could have been an impossible swinging bunt. Who
Yeah.
knows?
He's one of those guys that's uber competitive and very, very focused. So I expect him to take this and rebound. Like
He'll
if
be fine.
I think if he hadn't played in the World Baseball Classic, he would have had a good opening day. But because of how much he felt like he dedicated towards
If he
that.
has a bad start to the season, teams will never be letting anyone pitch in the World Baseball Classic again.